Hi everyone, I am Sheffield E. Vasquez. In today's video, I'm going to discuss about rape case. So, what is rape? Rape is a type of sexual assault, usually involving sexual intercourse or other forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without that person's consent. The act may be carried out by physical force, coercion, abuse of authority, or against a person who is incapable of giving valid consent, such as one who is unconscious, incapacitated, has an intellectual disability, or is below at the legal age of consent. The term rape is sometimes used interchangeably with the term sexual assault. And this time, let me give you a rape case scenario. Murphy is sleeping in her bed when a masked man breaks into her home. He pulls out a knife and threatens to kill her unless she has sexual intercourse with him. The man threatens Jessica with a knife, forcing her to engage in sex acts. The man is guilty of rape. In this case, what is the law involved? According to Republic Act 8353, the Anti-Rape Law of 1997, an act expanding the definition of the crime of rape, reclassifying the same as a crime against persons, amending for the Purpose Act number 3815 as amended, otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code, and for the purposes. So now, what are some benefits for rape victims with the help of this law? For letter A, providing rape victims with psychological counseling, medical and health services, including their medical legal examination. Letter B, securing free legal assistance or service when necessary for rape victims. For letter C, assisting rape victims in the investigation, hastening the arrest of offenders, and the filing of cases in court. For letter D, ensuring the privacy and safety of rape victims. For letter A, providing psychological counseling and medical services whenever necessary for the family of rape victims. For letter F, developing and undertaking a training program for law enforcement officers, public prosecutors, lawyers, medical legal officers, social workers, and barangay officials on human rights and responsibilities, gender sensitivity, and legal management of rape victims. And for the last one, adopting and implementing programs for the recovery of rape victims. In this matter, what are the punishments to the perpetrator who raped Murphy? Any man or woman who may be held liable for rape on the victim's behalf, the prosecution continues even if victim drops the case or pardons the offender. Reclusion perpetua, imprisonment from 20 to 40 years is imposed on the offender if rape is committed through sexual intercourse. Otherwise, sentences for rape can range from 1 year to even life in prison, depending on the provisions of each state's sentencing statute or sentencing guidelines, the victim's age or status, and the circumstances of the crime. Some states require a minimum prison sentences or require the court to impose a prison sentence without probation or early parole. In other states, judge may have some discretion on the length of the sentences and whether to allow the defendant to serve any portion of the sentence on probation rather than in prison. And this time, let's have the special information. If you were Murphy, who is raped by the man, if you have been a victim of rape or other sexual assault, you must report the crime. Otherwise, it can seem overwhelming and harsh to have to go through a police investigation and perhaps a court case. The police and the prosecution service know this is an emotionally demanding process and they will do their best to help you along the way. If you have been a victim of crime, you need to report it to the police immediately. You have to go to a police station in person to report the crime as you have been sexually assaulted. The police may also take your report at the scene of the crime. It is important to report the crime as soon as possible after it was committed. It is a good idea to write down your experiences right after the day happened. For example, about what was said or done or the description of the perpetrator. You are not required to report the crime to the police, but it may be necessary if you want compensation for the injury or loss you sustained as a result of the offense. And that's all for today. I hope you learned something from my video. Thank you for listening.